Okay, who are you and what do you do?
I'm a Ghost Market CEO and founder, and I deal with NFT on a daily basis. And one of the chain we're integrated with being Neo3. And we also the first DApp on Neo3, so which is very great, but also we're beta testing some stuff, which is also very, very cool, but sometimes challenging.
Totally. Um, what was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem?
Um, the technology itself, as in being able to deploy a wide range of smart contract languages, and the whole economics behind Neo with Neo and gas and the low transaction fees. So the overall general capabilities of Neo mostly.
What does the smart economy mean to you, and how does your project fit into that vision?
Um, I think it's about cross project integration, like obviously DeFi and NFT are well connected. Like owning an NFT gives you a multiplier or whatever on a DeFi app. That's a simple example, but there are way more advanced use case. And to me, smart economy is about this, connecting different individual capabilities together.
What is one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem that you did not develop or make?
Uh, I think adding Wallet Connect is very good because it will open up a ton of new possibilities, mostly, regular wallets, which probably for now don't care about Neo. When they realize they can just plug Wallet Connect and be fully integrated with Neo, it will help solve a lot of adoption issues. And so I think it's very powerful. It's far from ready. I mean, it just went live, at least for a beta, but it's still lacking a few features. Also, it's a reason why it's not supported on Ghost Market yet, but it's coming very soon.
What was your favorite event or moment in the Neo ecosystem that has taken place in the past 5 years?
I think DEFCON was pretty cool. 2000 was a long time already. 19? Yes, I think it was 19 or 20. No, it was 19. Because, you get to meet a lot of people like you, and and you get to share and to discuss about all kind of cool stuff, whether on Neo or not, but mostly Neo.
And this is kind of a fun question. What do you think will be the top headline on Neo News today 5 years from now?
um, that's a good question. Yeah. I'm fairly certain Neo will be one of the top contenders when it comes to advanced blockchain. I'm not talking about copy and paste of EVM chain like half of the blockchain nowadays are. I'm talking about standalone blockchain, but also interoperable. So I think we will see a lot of articles and news related to cross-chain integration between Neo and others, because it's a future. We know that since a long time. There's a good reason Poly Network was born. But I definitely think Neo will be one of the few because, like I said, because of the smart contract capabilities, which can attract a lot of developers, and also because it's readily available, unlike a lot of projects which have a lot of ideas. But having ideas and having something ready to go is a different step.
Totally. And I didn't write this question down, but I just figured I'm going to ask everyone I interview this question. So this is going to be the final one. What do you have to say to the Neo Global Development Team for the work that they've done over the past 5 years?
uh, I think they did a great job. I think it took them a long time to figure out that Asian and non-Asian communities are different, but I think now it's in the past. But the same way we European or North American people don't deal with Asia the same we deal with our own countries. It should be the same for Asia. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's there are so many differences, both cultural differences, but also in terms of how you market stuff, in terms of how you design stuff, and it's always a joke, when people say Neo is a Chinese Ethereum, but there's always a bit of truth, and and I think it's how it all started, because it was maybe too Asian at first, but it's long overdue. No, it's in the past.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Who are you and what do you do?
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm John Devidas. It's a pleasure always to be with Dylan. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. What do? I build developer tools. We're based in Seattle. We built the first ever debugger. We build the private net, Neo Express. We build the blockchain toolkit. We build the visual dev tracker. We've built tools. Basically, what we do, what we have done, what we do, in very simple terms, is to provide professional developers the best-in-class developer experience in the blockchain world, and one that compares, if not raises the bar with respect to mainstream development, especially on Amazon Web Services or Azure.
Cool. What was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem?
Oh, it's very simple. Two things. It's the architecture. And I think I've said this before. We have the premier architecture. And when I say architecture, I mean not just the technology architecture, I mean the economic architecture, the economic model behind it. The second thing, of course, is the team. The founders, the ecosystem, the team, the global, team of the camaraderie and the expertise that we have with respect to North America, Latin America, Asia, China, India, Europe. That's what really motivates me and keeps me going, man.
What does the smart economy mean to you, and how does NGD Enterprise fit into the smart economy?
For me, the phrase smart economy is about one thing. It's about digitizing assets, digitizing real world assets. Now, to do that effectively, we have to bridge the real world and, if you will, what you might call the metaverse, which means we need standards, we need schemas, we need protocols. They have to be open and they have to be interoperable. And so that to me is in some sense almost a personal mission, if you will, to make it happen, to make it real, and to make it accessible to developers across the world.
What is one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem that you or your team did not develop?
So you're saying something that I like, that I've seen across the ecosystem?
That NGD Enterprise and your team did not make, something that another team or another person in the ecosystem made.
I really like COZ's work, in terms of Python, in terms of JavaScript, what they've done to extend the developer experience. And so I will tell you, I am a very big fan of Tyler and the guys over there.
I'll have to share that with him. What was your favorite event or moment that took place in the past 5 years in the Neo ecosystem?
Well, I would have to say it's, I think, there's a very clear winner there, right? It's the community summit that we had, about 2 years ago. I think that was just a phenomenal event. It was great in terms of meeting people in person, many people I had never met before. And so that's obviously head and shoulders the event. And I look forward to having more of those very soon, man.
In 5 years from today, what do you think will be the top headline for an article on Neo News Today?
So it's a very good question. For me, there's only one word. I would say exponential. What we have done, what we have built, what we have seen grow in the last 5 years, as we look ahead at the next 5 years, it's going to be exponential. And by that, I mean in terms of the capabilities, in terms of the solutions, especially, as you said, with respect to tokenizing assets, in terms of the access to the millions of developers, and in terms of the multi of millions of users, consumers, citizens across the globe that will benefit economically, socially, with respect to what we have built as the underlying platform here. So I would say it's only one word: exponential.
I like that. And lastly, I know that you're kind of at a higher level, very aligned with Neo Global Development, but I'll ask this anyways. Is there anything that you want to say to NGD about the work that they've done over the past 5 years?
Oh, I mean, what can I say? I can only say thank you. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, the innovation, the engineering excellence, the outputs. I can only say thank you, the team. In terms, and again, we are very globally dispersed, globally distributed. I think it's a marvel of engineering to be able to build. And look, I've seen, and I've had to build. I built. I did incubated Azure many years ago, 15 years ago. I've worked on global scale enterprise class stacks, and I'll tell you, to build a platform at this scale, with this spectrum of features and capabilities, is non-trivial. So the only thing I would say is thank you, and of course I would say kudos.
We will start with something easy. Who are you and what do you do?
This is John Wang from the Neo Global Development Shanghai team, and I'm currently responsible for the Neo's the eco-growth team and the marketing team, and I'm also responsible for the Neo Eco Fund. So I think I have introduced myself for many times to the community. Anyway, thanks for you guys talking you guys again.
Absolutely. It's always good to have you come back on, and it's funny to have you reintroduce yourself, but that question was designed to just get the conversation going. So what was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem?
You mean right now, or you mean 3 years ago?
3 years ago. Why did you choose to build in Neo?
So at that moment, I think actually in 2017, my feeling is not that long ago. Yeah, at that moment, I'm just quite interested about the Bitcoin and the crypto. These quite new things. But at that moment, I'm mostly discussing the crypto and Bitcoin with my friends in the overseas, because I studied in Australia before, and they actually when we have lots of talk, they mentioned to me you are Chinese, so do you know project is called the Ant Shell? So I said I don't know. So they said, okay, shame on you, how you don't know the Ant Shell, this project, you don't know who is Da Hongfei. So I say, okay, okay, we do have that's a great project in China. I should know them. So I do lots of research about what is Ant Shell and what their vision, and I also watch lots of the video, like the Uncle Da said in the social media. So I think that project is not the same as the others. The smart economy, I think not many people can understanding what it is, but my feeling is the decentralized is made new chance for the everyone. So then I started to trying to reach the Ant Shell team at that moment, because it's not rebranding yet. So I find the Neo's tweet, the Chinese Twitter, we call it Weibo, and to talking to them. So that's how I actually we start my career in the Neo team.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that goes into the second question. What does the smart economy mean to you?
I think maybe lots of people said still till today, lots of people still not that understanding what is the smart economy. My feeling is the smart economy actually is a kind of the new relationship between the people. For example, because actually I working in the bank before, and I also working in the consulting company, and I can say when the people when a company wanted to managing the 1 billion of the asset, normally they need 1,000 of the team, but we can see if we use the compound or the RV, we can say they managing the same amount of the asset, they may only need the 40 people, 40 staff to manage it. So it's significantly to increase the efficiency for all the economy activities. So I'm not sure is that means the smart economy gonna be the future of the world, but for the blockchain technology or the smart economy, actually it's can helping us or even helping the world to work in more efficiency. And I believe if we doing some research for the history, if something actually can highly increase the efficiency of the social, I believe it's gonna be the next future of the world.
That's a really interesting response, talking about efficiency. So the next question might be hard because you do represent Eco Growth and NGD, but what is one of your favorite contributions to the NEO ecosystem that NEO Global Development did not develop?
Sorry, you mean the contribution the NEO Global Development not developed?
Yeah, something that the community built, whether it's a protocol or a project or something like that.
I believe all of them is my favorite. I mean, it's very difficult for me to pick any of them. If I have to pick, I think I can pick the Neo News Today. Yeah. It's not a joke actually. Because actually, you can say from the last 3 years, it's have lots of the new projects as have no matter in the 2018, it has lots of the projects actually have their own token in the new blockchain. 2019 has lots of the dApps in the new blockchain, and on the 2020, and we do also have some DeFi project, and so we have lots of kinds of the things actually built based on the NEO. And NEO is also a project we are not planning to build everything by ourselves because it's quite centralized. We still believing for the blockchain world, the community is a very important part for the in this world. It's not just it's a slogan. It's actually should be like this way. But then from our side, maybe from our marketing side, we are more is to promote the information is more officially. So for the Neo News Today, actually from your side, you are helping us to make this content more interesting and more easy for the user, our community members to understanding. And you actually is follow more with the project than us. We may more give them support, but you guys is more if I make example, it's more we may more a father in the family. I'm not sure this example is right or not. I mean, it's more the father. Yeah. We are more like a father. I mean, the same as my father. They already tell me okay, so some what you should do, and we give you some support. But I feel the news today is more like a mother for this community. You are helping them with another way take care of them and to find them there some shining point and to tell the community. So no matter for this industry, the focus on the dApps, focus on the DeFi, focus on the NFT, focus on the GameFi, you are still that's the team to keeping helping them. Yeah,
that's a great analogy. I hadn't ever thought of it like that. Thanks for sharing that. So to the next question, what was your favorite event or your favorite moment that took place in the past 5 years?
I believe lots of people will said maybe the first DevCon, it will be the most exciting moment. But currently, I think the moment is DevCon in the Seattle, because last time I think last month, my iPhone just the iPhone has a function is they will mention to you you take some picture in some day. I mean last year or maybe 2 years ago, and on that day, a picture just jumped to my screen is we have the DevCon in Seattle. Yeah. So at that moment, it's hard to say. I'm feel a little bit sad and a little bit exciting. I'm thinking because the COVID-19, we are difficult to hold the DevCon, and we are cannot actually traveling to the overseas. But I believe the NEO has a global community. And after I joined the NEO, I fly in lots. I fly into many countries, many cities. We're talking with the different people, and we build a community. I'm quite a business guy, so I'm not that like to talking people just from the IM, no matter from the Telegram, no matter from some Discord. I'm more like to talking with people with face to face. I want to maybe have some drink with a community member. I wanted to have some drink with you guys. I wanted to have some drink. I mean, so I'm thinking, so which day actually we can do it again, and we can see there's lots of things change in the last the 3 years, and we can see the Bitcoin is already the 50K. So this industry is growing very, very fast, and many people know the Bitcoin, many people know the crypto, and it's already really have many the DeFi project is currently is being used by the people. So yeah, so I think the DevCon in Seattle is currently is always a moment appear in my brain recently. Yeah.
Yeah. I too miss having drinks with people in person and look forward to the next time.
Yeah, I believe it will be turning better. Yeah. But I hope it can be soon. Yeah.
Yeah, 2020 hopefully. For the next question, if you can think 5 years into the future, what do you think will be a type of article or a headline on neonewstoday.com?
Yeah, yeah, the president of the America is using Neo to pay for something. Yeah, I'm joking. Yeah. Maybe on your account, I believe currently I'm thinking maybe the top the title of the topic can be some country is support the Neo blockchain. So I believe it can be the future, become the fact in the future. I mean, we can see some country is already using the Bitcoin. Yeah. And I believe more and more the government will be using Bitcoin. Maybe start from some of the small country. Yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, and So after the government started to use more and more, the government to thinking the Bitcoin can be the fiat. So actually for the blockchain, they also is gonna be the part of the our lives. We can see, like, I think I have lots of discussion about the China, the regulation, but we can see like the China is also spend lots of the time and the effort to support the blockchain industry.
Mm-hmm.
So it also means like I didn't see any country or any government to ban the blockchain technology. So I believe like for all the industry, if they actually want growing faster, so they need the local government to know or have the regulation to manage it. So I think it's actually the good news. So if I think also like for the people in this industry is we need more patience and we need to keep hard working. If everyone in this industry can still working in its industry and keeping learning, I believe in the next 5 years you will have lots of the return which you cannot imagine.
Yeah, very cool. I like your perspective on embracing blockchain, and maybe it's just cryptocurrencies right now that are facing issues from governments, and not necessarily the actual blockchain technology. And then the last question, this might be also difficult for you to answer because you are part of NGD, but is there anything that you want to say to Neo Global Development about the work that the entire team has done over the past 5 years?
Oh, sorry. Could you say that again? Sorry, I'm not here clearly.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to say to Neo Global Development about the work that the entire team has done in the past 5 years?
I think maybe Hongfei will be the right person to doing this thing. Yeah. But yeah, so as the member in working here, I mean I'm proud of it. Like I can working with all the colleagues. No matter the colleague still working in the NGD or they are leaving, I believe like the Neo has very excellent the culture in this world. Like you, even like we do have some people is leaving from the Neo and they are working in some other project and take a very important role in other projects. So I think it means like the Neo actually has a very good team to helping people who don't know the blockchain and become a guy actually can growing to a project lead. So like in China, like we can see lots of the people who live in the Neo and to become the team leader or even the Chinese area leader in some other project. And so in China, lots of people said the Neo is I don't know how to translate it. Like in America, you do have army school. It's called the West Point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So they call, and in China we do also have this kind of the army school. Before it's called the Huangpu, the army school. So they tell me, so Neo is this kind of army school they call the Huangpu Army School in crypto in China, because lots of the colleague actually have very good performance in after they leaving the Neo, and lots of the great projects. I mean, they are hiring my colleague. So I'm proud of it. Like I can work in the Neo. I'm proud of it. Like the Neo teach me lots, especially in the last 4 years. Like if I'm not working in the NEO, it's quite difficult for me to know that many of the knowledge about the crypto. I may already leaving this industry. Yeah. So we have very tough time. I mean, for the whole crypto, it still have the tough time on the 2019 and the 2020. So the NEO is giving, the NGD is giving us a place to discussing, to keeping working industry and keeping learning. So that's how we actually can still work in this industry in 2020, in 2021. So NEO for me or NEO for people who working here is not just a job. I believe it's a community that is people, that is we can actually learn lots and working together with a very good relationship. I think no one blame like they are not happy working here. Even they leave, we are still friends. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. All right, let's do this again. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Brett or Edge. I am an I am an editor at Neo News Today, and I do all sorts of writing of articles, editing, trying to make myself useful around the Neo ecosystem.
What was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem specifically?
So I wouldn't consider myself to be the OGist of OGs, but I have been familiar with blockchain for a pretty long time now. And by the time the kind of AntShares FOMO of 2017 was coming around, I was already pretty familiar with proof of work and what I wanted to see kind of happening in newer gen blockchains. And if you were one of those guys with like the in it for the tech mentality, that road led you directly to AntShares back then. So, kind of seeing the void in the Neo ecosystem of having someone who could translate the tech into things that people could understand, I think made me want to be a part of it.
So, what does the smart economy mean to you, and how does Neo News Today fit into that vision?
To me, I think the smart economy is like it's an idealized version of what we have today, really. It's the ability to do business with anyone around the world, but without the borders that we currently have to deal with, and all those kind of inefficiencies of bureaucracy that we can just kind of abstract away through code. The thing with a kind of any distributed network is there's so many things happening all around the world. There's a lot to keep tabs on. And not everyone has the time to do that. So in New News Today, what we do is we process the hard stuff that you don't have, so that you don't have to, while making sure that your news diet is filled with only the most healthy and satisfying nutrition.
What is one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem that you did not develop or contribute?
So there's lots to choose from, because it's only recently that I've become more of a developer myself. But I think just as it did all those years ago, BOA by COZ takes the cake. So the ability to do Python smart contracts. I think the blockchain industry as a whole is at a really interesting place right now in that it's really not quite sure where it's supposed to go from Solidity. So some folks think that we should just do more Solidity on layer 2. Other people are like laser eye focused on zero knowledge tool chains like Starkware, Cairo and stuff. And other teams just think we need an alternative to the EVM, right? Neo is obviously one of those with NeoVM, but there are also the newer gen platforms like Solana and Elrond, who have begun to embrace Rust as like the language of smart contracts. And to me, that's kind of crazy, right? Because coming back from 2017, where the idea is, well, we need to trust these things, we need to be able to read and verify that the source code is doing what we think it should be doing as a user of the application. Like, it's crazy to me to go to a more complicated language rather than doing something that's more high level, more approachable. So yeah, I think Python is kind of a goldmine for that. It's kind of the gold standard.
What was your favorite event or moment that has taken place in the Neo ecosystem in the past 5 years?
I've got a lot of good memories from NeoDevCon in Seattle, as you well know. But I think the community assembly was truly something special. I think kind of the ice had already been broken between people thanks to the previous events. And we kind of all had that familiarity despite us all coming from totally different backgrounds. And that week, man, it just had an energy to it that was just full of intelligent, passionate people trying to make something that was bigger than they are. Pretty amazing. I loved it. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, 2020 kind of ruined us getting together and having a continuation of that awesome sort of vibe and energy.
Yeah, I was so happy that we managed to keep it going, like kind of offline as well. Like it hasn't been quite the same, but we've done a good job.
Yeah, best worked within our circumstances. So, what do you think, in 5 years from now, what do you think will be a top headline or an article that people will be reading on Neo News today?
Neo breaks 1 million US. I'm just kidding. We don't report on price. Hopefully some dope partnerships, right? Microsoft and Google embrace Neo, I think is what I want to see.
Awesome. And lastly, is there anything that you would want to say to the Neo Global Development team about the work that they've done on Neo over the past 5 years?
I think they've really fostered something special, and they've managed to do it outside of their, like primary borders of China, which is, it can't really be taken for granted. I've met some exceptional people because of the work that NGD's done. They've really been there's been turnover at NGD. The team has changed over time, and I've met many wonderful people there that no longer work there. But I will say that the energy that was there back in 2017 has only grown stronger. And I think I've really noticed improvements, especially over the last year and a half of NGD's kind of leadership in this space. So yeah, I'm excited to see where they go from here.
Cool. So let's start off with first, who are you and what do you do?
I have the nice Norwegian name Odd. So yeah, that's actually how it's pronounced as well. I'm a developer for MyMingo. Been making that for the last 8 months or so. Found Neo a year ago when I read about the white paper for N3. So basically been around here since then. So on Discord, I'm known as Mr. Google.
Cool. And first question, what was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem?
It was we were like trading on crypto, and I'm really good at buying on top and selling on bottom. So after doing that for like a couple of 4 or 5 years, I said to my colleague that let's do what we're best at, and that's developing. So let's find some place to build something instead of like wasting money on trading. So that's how I came across like the Neo white paper for N3, and I was like, yeah, this is cool 20 years from now. But then I saw that it was about to be released in March or something this year. So was super hyped about that. Talked with Atlasor, and we were like, nice, this is let's start to dig into it, figure it out, and do all that kind of stuff. So we were ready for it. And then we found Flamingo, and then we made MyMingo, and that's the story goes on.
So one of the themes that Neo has had since 2017 is it's called the smart economy. So what does the smart economy mean to you, and how does the MyMingo project fit into that vision?
For me, smart economy is like it's easy. It's easy for everyone, not just like smart people. So smart economy is economy that's smart for you, and that's why MyMingo like grew, and that we got like a big audience for it because we made Flamingo smart. Flamingo were like one click, do this, wait, then you have to take up your calculator, you have to figure it out and everything like that. But then we took all that down to one operation. And we're really eager to like make it even smarter. So you have auto compounding and everything like that. So, but smart economy as a whole is more like you want to buy a house, I want to sell a house. We use a smart contract instead of a realtor. Then we don't have to pay all those fees. So we don't need to trust each other. We have like the ecosystem with smart contracts that can do that for us.
Awesome. Can you share with me what one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem is that you or your team did not develop? So what is something that somebody else built that's one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem?
Yeah, I really feel obligated to say Flamingo, but no, I would really like to shout out to Neo Dashboard. I don't know his real name, but yeah, that's a guy I'm talking a lot with him on Discord. He's working really hard to like give insight and do stuff. Yeah, I heard you guys also gave him a donation. I gave him a donation as well because I know how it is working for free, doing something and people using it all the time. So yeah, I think that's the coolest thing on Neo.
Awesome. I know that you mentioned that you just discovered Neo within the past year, but we are celebrating the 5-year MainNet anniversary. So can you share with me what one of your favorite events or moments in the Neo ecosystem has been in the past 5 years?
Yeah, it's not the past 5 years. The best feeling I had is like we made this NeoBits series, and then we had this NeoBits Discord channel, and we had some auctions and a Discord bot that pasted every time when it comes in a new bid. And I think it was when we sold the Hongfei. It was a lot of bidding, and it really took me back to Mirk and MSN days when you were just chatting with your friends all night long. Yeah, it was so nice. Yeah, that was the best moment, and I think actually that's like the best moment in 2 to 3 years of my life.
Cool. That's awesome. So we're looking 5 years into the future, and you're reading Neo News today. What do you think is one example of an article or the headline of an article that you're going to see in 5 years from today on Neo News today?
I think that article will be about how another country has signed up and start using their like national currency on the Neo chain. Yeah, and I guess that's possible as well. It's fast, it's reliable, and yeah, transparent.
You're not the only person who said that. And then final question, is there anything that you want to say to Neo Global Development about the work that they've put into building the Neo ecosystem or the Neo blockchain in the past 5 years?
Yeah, totally. I think like they get too much negativity from a lot of people, a lot of investors, because they focus on working, they focus on developing, and they're not that good at like reaching out and telling what they're doing. But what they are building is actually insane. It's like, as I said, I would think like 20 years from now, all this would be possible. But we have it here today, and the achievement of doing that it's really big. And I think like they don't get enough feedback for that hard work. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that they have made a platform that makes me able to make an NFT game in 5 hours. That's totally insane. On Ethereum, it would take me like 3 months to make the same.
All right. So who are you and what do you do?
I'm the founder of X Labs in EL3J. I'm a community member. I'm a serial open source contributor in the Neo ecosystem.
What was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem?
To improve developer experience. I got bashed many times in meetups in the past in the Neo too, like with people coming to me and say, "Gil, like Neo is the developer experience is missing, is lacking." Then I decide, okay, I'm going to fix this. We have to fix this, and that's what I've been doing for a while, making it easier for other developers.
What does the smart economy mean to you, and how does your project fit into that vision?
The smart economy is having pieces of a Lego that all comes together to do something larger and bigger. So that's what it means to me. If it's like a developer experience or identity or world class tools or a decentralized platform, I mean it doesn't matter. It matters that each of the communities, each of the people put efforts on together on constructing this large legal art piece, which is the new blockchain. So for me, that's the smart economy. Of course, it relates to economy, but I mean, it's for me, it's something larger and bigger.
And how does X Labs fit into that vision?
X Labs is a portion, is one piece of this legal art. fitting with providing tools, providing DAOs, providing like knowledge, and providing passion to this community. That's important part. Yeah.
So, what is one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem that you or your team did not develop? So, what's one of your favorite contributions that somebody else created or developed in the Neo ecosystem?
For me, it's Neo Express and Neo Line. I think both projects put Neo in front of other blockchains in terms of developer experience. And Neo Line is something that embraces browsers and users. So like these two projects are the ones that I most admire.
I like that answer. Okay, so let's so the next question. What was your favorite event or moment that took place in the past 5 years in the Neo ecosystem?
I have two events. One of them is it was the new community assembly. I know that is not it was not exposed to the public, but this was really important because that's when I felt that everyone got together to go to the next event, to the second event that I think there was the big breakthrough, which was the new N3 release in MainNet. And I mean, we from X Labs were honored to be part of this as a council member because I mean, we were literally making history. It's a moment that I will not forget.
It's a great answer. Okay, so this one's a little bit creative. What do you think will be the top headline or the top article on Neo News Today 5 years from now?
Man, this is a bit more, how can I say, philosophical as well, right? Well, I don't have like a headline, but I'm absolutely sure that if Neo goes into continues with the same pace of building and delivering and aggregating people, I think like Neo has the potential to change niches in the society. So when I see, I mean, I'm living in Switzerland, but when I see in Brazil or in the United States, there are niches in the society that can benefit from this technology. I hope that NNT in 5 years will have a headline saying like a specific community or some schools, education, were got benefit by the new technology, and we build a case out of this. So, in summary, is a headline that has to do with Neo technology helping niche in society or small groups in society, to emerge that help them to be faster, more agile, to be better, more fair, maybe, or helping decentralize decision power. There are many things, but I mean, it's really hard to imagine like in 5 years what is. But I think my end goal, my wish would be this: is changing groups in our society, not technologists, but like people, end users, people. And I think that's very important to me.
Good answer. And the last question, is there anything that you want to say to Neo Global Development about the work that they've put into the Neo ecosystem in the past 5 years?
Yeah, big kudos to NGD guys, because it's pretty hard. There's a lot of competition in the market. There is a lot of things moving, projects, people that wants to take advantage, of the whole ecosystem, because blockchain is not always, but a big part of it is about economy and money, etc. So they have to select. They have to fight, against the lions, and have to bring everyone together, and select the people that should be in this community and should be part of this group. So I admire the work that they're doing. I'm not saying because I'm from the community. I'm saying that because I see NGD and the people from like John or others that have to talk to exchanges. They have to talk to potential projects. They have to talk to X Labs or the community, and they have to organize hackathons. They have to. Man, it's a lot of fighting, but someone has to recognize your efforts, like fighting with the lions.
Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ryan Lloyd, and I'm the co-founder of Translate Me, and we are busy working on the world's first decentralized machine translation solution.
So, what was it that made you interested in building specifically in the Neo ecosystem?
We've had this question actually before, Dylan, in our previous chat. At the core of the Neo ecosystem is trust for me. So I trust the team, I trust the development, I trust the progress. And, crypto is a terrible place if you partner with the wrong platform and you get taken, with the decisions of what is a project lead if they go in the wrong way in terms of, managing the trust factor for that ecosystem. And from day one, from Anshares, really, there was a real genuine approach to solving some of the problems the world has using blockchain. And nothing's built in a day, but every day Neo shows progress, shows integrity, and that's why we're still with them.
So, what does the smart economy mean to you, and how does your project fit into that vision?
I think at the core of what blockchain is about is it solves a trust between two parties when there's value that's exchanged using software that is doesn't have the tainted effect of human greed and human interference. And we need this in a lot of aspects of our lives. So Bitcoin's done that from day one and proves that every day as it grows. And all the other ecosystems that have now built around that is again trying to solve problems by removing the middleman and using essentially a decentralized consensus approach on blockchain. And I think for us, that's a big part of why we're able to do what we're doing on Translate Me, because we need aspects of that to work to manage parts of what we're trying to solve, which is also trust in the translation industry. But I think the larger part is distribution of value and securing that distribution.
Awesome. So, over the past 5 years, what has been one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem that you or your team did not develop?
Sure. In the last 5 years, my favorite contribution to the Neo ecosystem. Oh, that's a big question, Dylan. I'm like, I'm not normally stumped, but I am. I'm a little bit stumped there. I think if I had to connect to some of the contributions outside of the Neo ecosystem, for me and the project, I'd have to bring in Neo News today and say that you guys are a huge part of Neo's information base that has kept true and stayed true, and just has completely stuck to what Neo's about and kept not only us but all the other interested parties involved and notified. And I think that you guys have contributed a large part of what no one else has done, which is the actual information and the delivery of that information.
Cool.
So I personally appreciate Neo News today. Yeah.
Thank you.
What you guys do.
We appreciate that. What was your favorite event or moment that took place in the Neo ecosystem in the past 5 years?
I'd have to say it's when we deployed our smart contract. So, I mean, it was a memorable moment. I can put myself back in the seat when we clicked the button and we went live on Neo officially. So yeah, that was a very, very important step for us. And if I could frame it, I would.
Okay, this one's another creative one. Looking 5 years into the future, what is a top headline or an article that you think you'll see on Neo News today?
Neo tops Bitcoin. Can we go with that?
Totally.
Okay. If anyone's going to look at the charts, that would be one to watch, and everyone's going to read that headline. So I'm going to go with that one.
Awesome. And final question. If there was anything that you could say to the Neo Global development team who helped foster the Neo ecosystem over the past 5 years, what would you say to them?
I think that in my work with some of the team members, with constructive criticism, I think that some of the marketing elements needs to be worked on from an accountability point of view, and the interlinking of what each project brings in a way that they are actually marketing each other. I must say, though, with the N3 sort of migration and that whole phase now, that's ramped up a lot. And I understand where they're coming from, because we do exactly the same. We focus a lot on development and then marketing. So it's product first, and then spend the money on really letting people know about it. I think with Neo, though, it's a little different, because there is a live product that's evolving. So whilst they are doing that, there is a responsibility to onboard interests. And there's a certain amount of energy that needs to go into that to continuously build on that. And I would say that's one of the things Neo needs to put themselves out there, because they kind of are like the unknown good guys, and no one really knows about what they're doing. I mean, people do when they dig a little deeper. They actually get to, they get hit with this. Wow, how come no one knows about this? So yeah, that would be, it would play to their strengths if they could up that a bit.
All right. Who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Tyler Adams, and I'm the acting CEO of COZ, which is one of the first developer groups and longest active developer groups in the Neo ecosystem.
Cool. What was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem specifically?
Well, I think that's probably changed over the years. Initially, I came into the ecosystem because I found the consensus mechanism to be really novel and interesting. I found the approach to be very efficient, which is something that is very important given a lot of what we're seeing every time like Ethereum shows up, right, and becomes very active in kind of the general media, right? All of my friends can't get graphics cards. We're burning a lot of energy, right? Things like that. There's not really any of that in the Neo ecosystem. It's more efficient, right? And that's appealing to me.
So what does the smart economy mean to you? And how do any of your projects or one of your projects, how does that fit into your vision of the smart economy?
So to me, and this opinion also has changed over the years. The smart economy to me is this concept of having interfacing between decentralized applications and the users without a centralized or any centralized intermediaries, right? So you can imagine users interfacing directly with these decentralized applications and these smart contracts on chain. And then also these decentralized applications interfacing directly with each other as well. I view that as being the foundation of the smart economy. To me, there are kind of some larger concepts there as well, right? When I talk about smart economy, I don't think necessarily just a single blockchain. I think that expands out, right? Decentralized applications obviously exist on a lot of platforms. For COZ, there are a number of projects that we work on which facilitate that. Obviously, the desktop and mobile wallet are pretty critical components in a smart economy. Everybody needs a wallet to participate in an economy, in theory. At least, I suppose that's not necessarily true, right? There are other ways to participate, but that's probably the easiest way to get involved. And then we've recently released the Wallet Connect interface or integration for Neo. I think Neo N3 is one of the first blockchains that's not Ethereum with Wallet Connect integration, if not the first. So that's a pretty big deal. And we'll continue to push that. As our platform matures, we also have a number of dApps that will be showing up soon, which will also participate there. And then we've also seeded and sponsored a number of projects in the smart economy, which continue to grow. The one that people are probably most familiar with right now is Ghost Market, which has been doing a lot of really good work in our ecosystem. So we'll continue to support that as well. We also support things like Dora and then all of the SDKs as well, which are important building blocks in the community as well.
Cool. What is one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem that you or your team did not build or contribute?
That's a really good question. I think there are a lot, actually. Neo Express is probably the one that my team would probably crucify me for not including here. We all use it, and it's really lowered the bar for development. I haven't personally used the toolkit, at least not excessively, but that's because I use the JetBrains IDEs. So I primarily use Neo Express. People on our team also use the toolkit and really like it. Neo Express is just kind of that lowest common denominator there. I also, while we're working on Wallet Connect, I think DAppy is also really critical infrastructure in the ecosystem, because I think that really kickstarted a lot of the DApp integrations, DApp wallet integrations. I think that's really valuable. I think, man, there are a lot of projects. There's some new ones coming out. I think Axe Labs has done some pretty amazing work on the Java front. There's a new project that they're working on that I'm pretty excited about, although it's more of like kind of an ecosystem level project that COZ will also be involved in to some extent. That's pretty cool. Man, the list goes on. I'm a fan of NeoGo also. But yeah, there's a pretty long list, I think. Those are a few, though, that Neo Express is really the one that's probably closest to my personal favorite, though.
What was your favorite event or moment that took place in the Neo ecosystem in the past 5 years?
You're going to show up with that question, huh? My favorite event in the past 5 years was, and this may not apply to a lot of people, this is more of a COZ moment, but the first DevCon for Neo was really special for COZ, because up until that point, nobody had ever met each other, really. I'd met a couple of the people in COZ before, but that was the first time where a lot of people came together to meet, and talk about ideas and things like that. So that was a really special moment for me personally. It was the first time I got to meet Da also. I think, it was the first time I met like Dean, for example, as well. Like a lot of these people in the ecosystem, it was really just the first time that everybody was meeting each other. So that was really special.
Looking 5 years into the future, when you opened up neonewstoday.com, what is a headline or an article you think you'll see?
The one I want to see or the one that I will see? I think those are two different things. I think in 5 years, what I expect to see is some major integrations that are not blockchain focused, right? I think that's really critical for this space. And, we talk a lot. I'm a huge proponent of, blockchain, not for the sake of blockchain, or not being self-serving. So that's what I think we will see. What I hope we will see is that, but at a much larger scale, right? I'm hoping to see many of the articles being about that topic. I'd love to see like some point of sales integrations and things like that with various vendors, hopefully in Colorado, but I would be happy with those being anywhere. I think there are a lot of things like that will probably start showing up in 5 years timeline. I think that's reasonable.
Is there anything that you would want to say to Neo Global Development about the work that general team out of Shanghai has put into Neo over the past 5 years?
I've worked with that team for a really long time now. And I've seen it change in remarkable ways. It seems, when we first started working with that team, it was very small. It was very unorganized. It was very complicated and difficult to work with them. And what we've kind of seen over the past 5 years is a transformation that kind of reminds me of my kid a little bit. Like they've really organized themselves into a pretty well-oiled machine. First starting off, we would have issues where like a breaking change would be released overnight and we wouldn't know, and we need to work to catch up within the ecosystem and handle that. That never happens anymore. We're following pretty standard or industry standard processes. The ecosystem, like we get pre-releases to work with to make sure that all of our products are staged. And I think that shows in the community as well. When we look at how like the N3 release has gone with the various previews and the release candidates and everything like that, you'll notice that when those come out, almost immediately, or even before they're deployed, we have all of the tools staged already and releasing at the same time. And that's a really big deal because it allows us to ensure that developers are, and actually the entire ecosystem, are never caught off balance. And that's a really big deal. I think that also speaks really strongly to the quality of the project, right? When I look at projects, the capability maturity of the team is really important. And I think that we have that. We don't really have those types of mistakes or excursions anymore.
So who are you and what do you do?
Hello, I'm Stanislav Burkov. I'm CIO of New St. Petersburg Competence Center, and I'm responsible for NeoFS architecture and development of the services around it.
So what was it that made you interested in building in the Neo ecosystem specifically?
The most specifically, I think it was potential on how extensible and how practically oriented the Neo was when we started to look at it. Even at the time of the version 2, I liked the idea of how the virtual machine can be integrated with external calls and how it's well oriented for the practical development.
So what does the smart economy mean to you, and how does NeoFS fit into that vision?
For me, then the smart economy is something which is tightly connected to the reality, first of all. And we try to make the NeoFS also oriented to solve practical problems of the real world, in storing the data and to integrate it with already existing systems.
What is one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem that the Neo SPCC team did not make?
Oracles. I think built-in oracles is a most amazing feature which makes Neo closer to the reality.
Looking back over the past 5 years, what has been one of your favorite events or moments in the Neo ecosystem?
The favorite was Community Summit in Shanghai. But what we were, I think the second favorite is the launch of the MainNet. That was the event we were waiting for a long time.
In 5 years from today, what do you think will be a top headline or a top article on Neo News today?
I think that it will be something like Neo becomes the best cloud platform for industrial and e-commerce use, something like that.
And lastly, if there was anything that is there anything you want to say to Neo Global Development about the work that the team has done over in Shanghai by building and putting energy into Neo in the past 5 years?
Can you repeat the question?
Is there anything that you want to say to Neo Global Development about the energy and effort they've put into building Neo over the past 5 years?
Good question. First of all, maybe thank you. Maybe yes. First of all, thank you. Maybe that's all.
So let's just start off with something simple. Who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Ivan. I'm the CEO of CTO Labs. We do lots of things in the DeFi space. But primarily, we deal with like trading protocols, trading interfaces, etc. So I think most people know us as the OG NeoDex CTO exchange. And we built that really early on when Neo just came up with their smart contract platform. So we've evolved quite a bit from doing atomic swaps with other chains to now having a side chain where we can trade directly from, say, NEO to BUSD, for example. And we are quite excited to continue to support Neo as we move forward to Neo 3.0. Yeah.
What was it that made you first interested in building in the Neo ecosystem?
So I think Neo at the time was, I think it was 2017, 2018. And at the time, it was really a bustling ecosystem. And the amount of activity and the amount of eyeballs there made us very interested. Me and my other co-founders also participated in some of the ICOs at that time. And what made us really interested was having an alternative sort of virtual machine, alternative sort of smart contract platform that had like a really great roadmap. And I think we're seeing the roadmap finally getting realized in Neo 3.0. Yeah. So for us, that combination of the eyeballs and having something new done in a different way was really interesting to us. And that's why we really quickly developed the first on-chain DEX. There were actually 3 versions of that as we upgraded along the platform, along the blockchain. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this activity blossom again with Neo 3.0, hopefully. Yeah.
What does the smart economy mean to you, and how does your project fit into that vision?
So for me, smart economy, I guess for Neo, it really means having the building blocks right there within the blockchain, and therefore supporting a whole ecosystem, right? That's pretty much what they mean. I think it's a really it's a good idea. It's a smart idea. And the idea behind it is then you don't have to build your own oracles. You don't have to rebuild your own file system. And I think no other blockchain has really done that. So I think it would be really interesting to see it play out, because with all that, it's much easier to build, say, something like a MakerDAO or something like a perpetual exchange, for example. Yeah.
And how does Carbon now, or any of the other products under the Switcheo Labs umbrella, how does that fit into that vision of the smart economy?
I think when everything becomes really stable and production ready, it'll be interesting to take a look at how we can make use of that for the various parts of the infrastructures that we support. So for example, one thing that Carbon has is also their own on-chain oracles. And the reason we built that was because there's no good alternative. For example, Chainlink only supports Ethereum. The latency is low. And I mean, other little issues that don't make it, that make it not work so well for what we want to do. But by the end of the day, Carbon is meant to be a trading protocol, right? So if, let's say, Neo is able to support a very reliable, very trustworthy oracle, then that's something we will prefer to use as opposed to maintaining our own oracle. Similarly, I think the other thing that is really interesting in the file system, right now, a lot of file systems are not built in a way that is useful. So it's based on a renting for file storage sort of mechanism, which doesn't make sense to us. For us, our file system is something we want to be for it to be decentralized, for it to be censorship resistant. So we can host something like DMAX or Flamingo thoroughly on the decentralized file system. And with decentralized DNS, then people are able to reliably and permissionlessly access these interfaces. And then you have a really full sort of decentralized ecosystem. Yeah. So those are like little things that we're really looking forward to in terms of what we are building as well.
You might have already answered this in your response, but what is one of your favorite contributions to the Neo ecosystem in the past 5 years that your team did not develop?
Right. Did not develop. I actually like some of the initial projects. I don't know if all of them are still around. I actually like Alchemy a lot. This is the MakerDAO sort of a project, but then I think they didn't have enough push in terms of liquidity, so that didn't perform so well. And when there's like breach tokens using Flamingo and Poly Network, then the use case starts to drop. I think that it was a very good effort, and we will have. I do think having decentralized stablecoins, right, where it's not custodial like USDT, right? It's a critical part of any sort of blockchain ecosystem, and that's and hopefully we'll see some other alternatives in that aspect.
What was your favorite event or moment that took place in the Neo ecosystem in the past 5 years?
For the Neo ecosystem, I would say the physical event that happened in Singapore, like just before the whole COVID thing. That was really fun, and we met a lot of supporters there, both in and out of the Neo ecosystem. Were you there actually?
No, I wasn't.
All right. I think like Dahong Fei and was there, and then CZ gave this whole sort of private event thing with Neo. So that was really interesting to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember covering that and being jealous.
Right.
Okay, a creative question. Looking forward 5 years from today, what is an example of a headline or the type of article you might see on Neo News today?
5 years from now, I'm not sure. I mean, Neo hits $1,000. I don't know. Yeah, but I think 5 years is really long for something for our kind of space. I think the landscape there will be really different. Things that we don't even foresee at this point in time. So in the same way that like NFT and DeFi, people didn't really see in their current shape and form. So 5 years is really hard to project. Yeah, probably price $1,000 might be a good time.
I've gotten all sorts of answers for this question. It's a hard one. It stumped a lot of people. And then last question. Is there anything that you would say to the Neo Global Development Team about the work that has gone into building the Neo blockchain in the past 5 years?
Right. I would like to say like congratulations and a big thank you also for their hard work. Especially with like trying to push the DeFi ecosystem with Flamingo. I think that was done really quickly and it worked quite well. The other thing also it's their work in doing cross-chain interoperability with Poly Network. So that enabled us to pitch our new token, our SWTH token into like now Carbon and the other chains. And I think that cross-chain liquidity is really important. For example, now Neo is able to support like ETH and WBTC on Flamingo, which is a pretty critical part of like decentralized finance as well.
Who are you and what do you do?
Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here again, talk to Dylan. I'm Vitor from Brazil. Some of you will know us from New Research Community, and we've been together with Neo since 2017, and I have been mostly active on the migration to DBFT 2.0, and I have been watching and contributing as core developer for almost 4 years now, and it will be a great pleasure to show you how I am motivated with Neo 3 and all the good things that can come with in this new MainNet that has been launched, marking the beginning of a new history of blockchain migration.
What was it that made you interested in building in the NEO ecosystem?
Dylan, it's good to talk to you again. I think you know the story already. We have been already talked about that in the past. It began with the idea of creating science on the blockchain. But at that time, it was not fully possible for us because we start to engage in these improvements over the BFT. Since we are from the academia, we like to research that. We started to research like quantum security, and these are features that NEO has in its plans on a long-term perspective. And our dream now is that in the next couple of months, maybe 1 year, 2, we can build a dApp now on NEO 3 that is the first in the world that you can submit scientific papers, and we're gonna store these papers on NeoFS. We're gonna make a truly transparent process, and science is very important. And I hope people realize that during this pandemic, because we have different kind of beliefs. People trying to push medicines that are not useful for society, and those are sometimes even published on high quality, well-recognized journals. And until nowadays, we have a lot of bias in this process. So I started in NEO because of the academia, because of science, and I still plan to use this system for this purpose.
What does the smart economy mean to you, and how does NEO research fit into that vision?
Oh, that changed a lot. Very good question, Dylan. I think the concept of the smart economy has changed over the last 5 years. I have good friends in Brazil that created that famous protocol on NEO, a DEX called Nash. And at the time, I was thinking that DEX is the smart economy, is the creation of tokens. But in the last year, let's say July last year, we saw the growth of Yarn Finance, of DeFi, and that changed my perspective of smart economy. In the past, we have been talking here in Brazil about how to bankarize people. I don't know if that's correct in English, but how to create bank accounts for people that don't have access to internet, that live in areas that don't have good signals and etc. But nowadays, I don't see the need of bankarizing people in the traditional system anymore. I see now a truly hope in DeFi that is empowering people to hold their money, to make use of the money, to hold it, to make it as a source of real value, that you can bet on projects, that you can make your savings, that you can transfer your money, all integrated in simple platforms that I can mention many that have emerged in the last year. So my concept of smart economy has been changing a lot from the vision of truly decentralized systems like Bitcoin, that I believe is greatly decentralized, like Monero, to systems that we have more control, like NEO, like Binance Smart Chains. And my concept has been changing a lot, and I see all of them as a need for our society and the applications that are coming.
What is one of your favorite contributions to the NEO ecosystem that you and your team did not make?
No, that we make or did not
make, so that somebody else made.
No, first of all, the one that we contributed.
No. Your favorite contribution that somebody else made, not your team.
Not my team. I believe it's NeoFS, but I still did not use that. But the ones we made, I can say that we contribute a lot for DBFT 2.0, and we have a scientific paper now that helps a lot in a mathematical model for double speakers that we're going to call DBFT 3.0, and we're going to send a draft of this PR as soon as possible, I hope in 6 months, 4 months, and that's something that we dedicated a lot in the last year. But from those that we did not contribute, I think it's more related to NeoFS. The other ones, we were quite active in the discussions.
What was your favorite event or moment that took place in the NEO ecosystem in the past 5 years?
Oh, my friend, I remember we singing Bob Marley in Seattle. It was so good moment. But that was so fun event to me. It was the DevCon, many people from different parts of the world, but the event in Shanghai, the assembly was incredible for connection and like really understanding those who are behind the scenes. I think the assembly in Shanghai was incredible, but the joy and the good moments in Seattle are memorable.
Agreed. Looking forward to 5 years from now, what is an example of an article or a headline that somebody might be able to see on Neo News Today?
I believe on Neo News Today.
In 5 years, what's an example of an article that someone might find on Neo News Today?
Oh, New News Today had already published many interested stories. I remember when you or Dean or Brett, they always wrote like good technical quality articles that motivated the ecosystem. And in my perspective, I'm really engaged on consensus. So I believe that people gonna look in the past and see our papers, because we mix a lot what we did with optimization concepts that are concepts very specific for combinatorial optimization. And we were able to use such power of mathematical models to create a mathematical model that can test different possibilities of consensus. And based on this high computational power that we are able to use by using mathematical models, we are able to prove that forks cannot happen in some scenarios. I'm not saying that we are 100% correct, because we can have missed some assumptions, but the power of this mathematical model for proving some assumptions of blockchain consensus were great in my opinion, and I believe that people are gonna look in the past and see how we published that. We didn't publish in a high impact journal, but we published in an open source one that the review was quick and transparent. It was not our project sidechain that we believe gonna be the main way for even Neo News Today to publish its articles, because nowadays Neo News Today, where does Neo News Today store this information of articles? Why does not this information is stored already as an NFT? Why every article published by Neo News Today is not an NFT stored on NeoFS? We need a new way of making articles, of making reports, and that is connected with NFT and storage of data.
Okay, cool. And last question. If there was anything that you could say to Neo Global Development or to the Neo team about the work that they've put into Neo in the past 5 years, what would you say to them?
I would say, congratulations, Eric. Congratulations, Chargon. Congratulations, Harry. Congratulations to the guys of City of Zion, Manny Fabio, Tyler, Local Human, Meta Chris, all these guys that contributed to the community along this year, that believed in the project and still use it. Congratulations to the guys from Russia that dedicated, created NeoGo, created NeoFS. Congratulations to us in Brazil that organized the conference, that researched, my brother Igor, Belene, the guys also from São Paulo, Ricardo, Rodrigo. And this community has been beautiful and over these years has transformed. And I believe that people that are not so close now, but were close before, may approach again. And I believe that there is a space for everyone. And in the next 5 years, we're going to see interesting things raising on Neo.